you Power BI using cryptocurrency. I am teaching you Power BI using cryptocurrency. Again, we're on video number 8 of a 16 video series. The purpose of this video series is to get you to help me build this Power BI report that I will be delivering and teaching in our live event session on May 1st and 2nd in Dallas, Texas, called Power of the BI Live. Power of the BI Live. So here's the deal. For the past 7 videos, we have been learning how to build a Power BI report using cryptocurrency. What I want to emphasize, as I always do, is this is not a video to give you any suggestions on what cryptocurrencies to buy: Bitcoin, Doge, any other coin, right? This is only to show you how to analyze a Power BI report, or how to analyze a business segment using cryptocurrency. The reason why I like to use cryptocurrency, the reason why I like to use stocks, the reason why I like to use sports related teams and organizations is because they all have numerical data that we're able to see, we can analyze, and it's an easier thought process as to what the report should actually look like, what outcome you're actually trying to get to as you're building your Power BI report. Now, please understand that all data is not numerical data. Trust me, all data is not numerical data. But if you can understand the numerical data and where you're trying to go, what the outcome should look like when we start building out Power BI reports using non-numerical data, then, it makes life a lot easier. But again, before we get too much deeper into this, I do want to, I don't want to emphasize, but I want to let you guys know that, hey, this is a report that we're going to be creating in Power of the BI Live in Dallas on May 1st and 2nd. You are invited to attend, but there's not much room. Space is going to be limited. We're going to be at the Omni Hotel, downtown Dallas. There are 2 hotels. I think there are at least 2 Omni hotels in the Dallas area, but the one downtown Dallas is the one that we're going to be in. Again, the space is going to be limited. So if you're looking to, or if you're thinking about participating in the event, the one thing I would ask you to do, one thing I would suggest you do, is you go over to the Omni Hotel's website and make your reservation. Your registration does not equal your reservation. I'll say that again. Your registration does not equal your reservation. The FIFA World Cup is going to be in the Dallas area around that time. I do know that right now they are in the process of, they're not even in the process. They've gotten an entire convention center that's connected to the Omni Hotel. And what they're doing is the convention center is becoming an international site, international, I guess, headquarters. So what I'm saying is the FIFA World Cup is going to be in town. FIFA World Cup is going to be in town. So what you need to do early on is at minimum make your reservations before that hotel becomes booked. Then, if you want to cancel your reservation at a later date, you're more than welcome to do so, as long as you do it within the cancellation period. Again, I don't get any kickbacks from the Omni Hotel. This is not sponsored by the Omni Hotel. I'm only doing this at promoting getting booked at the Omni because we're going to be there. You can actually get a hotel room anywhere you want to in the Metroplex area if you like. Now, with that said, if you want to participate in Power of the BI Live, you need to go over to my website, powerofthebi.com. Go over to my website, powerofthebi.com. Go up to the top right corner, select courses, and then select Power of the BI Live Dallas. Power of the BI Live Dallas. Right now, we've got an early bird special going on, but I'm telling you, this is going to be a Power BI event that you don't want to miss, because we're going to have 8 full hours on May 1st and 8 full hours on May 2nd, and then we're going to have a great social event at the end of each one of those days. So we're going to work hard learning Power BI during the daytime, and we're going to party relatively hard. Not necessarily party hard, but we're going to play hard. We're going to have a good time. Not necessarily big party and that kind of stuff, but we're going to have a good time at the end of each day, just so you understand that you are appreciated. But with that said, let's move right along into what we are here for. We have been, in the past 7 videos, we've been learning how to create a Power BI report using cryptocurrency. And the report that we are creating which is right here. I guess I should bring that in and put myself on the screen. The report that we're creating is coming together rather nicely. What I want to do, as I have been doing over the past videos, is showing you what are the custom visuals. Now, you ask, what is a visual? A visual is all the things you can see. So we've got 7 different visuals on this particular Power BI report as we are speaking. At the end of the day, we're going to have 16 visuals. That's the goal. The goal is to have 16 visuals. Now, a lot of times, if you've gone through any of my courses, any of my classes, if you watched any of my previous videos, you know that I like to stay somewhere between 8 and 10, between 6 and 10 visuals on a report. However, the reason why I'm really pushing this one out to be 16 is because I want to be able to show you as much of a Power BI report, as many visuals and the different the different ways that we can place the visuals on the report and how they can function on a report. So, but it's going to be a dope report. It's going to be a dope report. It's not just going to be a bunch of visuals thrown together. Now, here's the deal: if we're not able to get to 16 because we've got too much going on, we'll limit it. But at the end of the day, right now, the goal is 16 visuals. So right now we're on visual number 8 of a 16-part video series. And what I want to do is, let me move myself around here. What I want to do, as I've been doing in the past videos, is one, helping you to understand that we've got 3 major panes on the Power BI desktop. And we got the filters pane, we've got the visualizations pane, and we have the data pane. Now, we are live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. On YouTube, on the screen, you are able to go through the video with me. If you already have Power BI Desktop, you can pop up Power BI Desktop, and you can start here, and then you can catch back up to where we are by going through the previous videos and bringing in those visuals. In addition to, if you like to bring in that same data set, you can go to the previous video and you can grab that data set as well. Now, so if you're on Instagram and Facebook, you're welcome to jump over to YouTube at Power of the BI. Jump over to YouTube at Power of the BI, and basically either watch as I build out this report, or 2, you can build a report out with me as we go. So back over here at the report, what we've been doing is, 1, let's understand that we've got the filters pane. We may or we may not use the filters pane in this video. We've used it previously, but we may or we may not use the filters pane. Here is the visualizations pane, where we select our visuals and we place the different values within the visuals. And here we have the data pane, where we are, where all of the data within this report is housed. Now, going through, in a previous video, we went through all the visuals on the first row. We went through all the visuals on the first row: the stacked column chart, the 100% stacked bar chart, the clustered column chart, which is a chart we have on this particular video. Here's the clustered column chart here. We also have the clustered bar chart, and we also have a clustered bar chart in this particular report, and that clustered bar chart is here. Then we have the stacked column chart, and we have the stacked bar chart. Those are all the custom visuals on the first row. Not custom visuals, but the standard visuals on the first row. When I say standard visuals, these are the visuals that come standard with a Power BI report. You don't have to find these visuals. You don't have to go out and create new visuals. These visuals are already here. And the advantage of having the standard Power BI visuals is that those visualizations are interactive with one another. We'll learn here in a second or 2 that all visuals will not be interactive. And what I mean by interactive, if you click one visual, it interacts with other visuals, and it lets you know where this data resides in other visuals. On the second row, we have the line and clustered column chart, which is a combo chart. And basically, so we didn't bring in a line and clustered column yet. We may bring in a line and clustered column. But we got the line and the clustered column chart. Then we have the line and stacked column chart. We have the 100% stacked area chart. We have the stacked area chart. We have the area chart, and we have a line chart. And we also have a line chart on this report, which is here. It's got a double line and is representing two different values. A previous video can help you understand what those values are. On the third row, we have the donut chart. Then we have the pie chart, and we also have a pie chart on this particular report. We have a pie chart on this particular report. Here we have a scatter chart. We've got a funnel chart, and the funnel chart is on this report. And as you see, the funnel chart is selected, so you'll see the little selection square selecting the funnel chart here. If I click out here, you'll see that little selection around the funnel chart is gone because that's not the report that we're on. Then we have the waterfall chart, and we have the ribbon chart on the third row. On the fourth row, we have the majority of our map visuals, and we have the gauge. Here we have our gauge visual. We have the Azure map, which is the primary map for Microsoft. We have the shape map, which is my favorite map. We have the field map. We have the map that's shaped like a globe, and we have a tree map. Then on the fifth row, as I said before, standard Microsoft visuals do interact with one another. But if we have a Python visual, it does not interact, as of the time of this video, it does not interact with standard Microsoft visuals. We have the R script visual, which is for statistical analysis. I'll be totally honest with you. Probably 90% of the time, you're not going to need a Python or R script. You can use it. I use the Python sometimes. I've never used R, but you really don't have to have Python or R. We have the matrix visual. We have the table visual. The table visual we have here as well. Basically, a table visual is just a spreadsheet, for the lack of any better term. The matrix visual, it allows it looks like the table visual, but it allows a little bit more functionality to where you can expand and compress different areas. So you can hit the plus button and it'll expand out. You hit the minus button and it'll decompress back in. But we don't have the matrix visual on our report. We do have the table visual. Then there's the slicer visual, and we do have a slicer, which is over here. We're going to format this slicer visual a little later to where it's going to be a drop down rather than just a list that you can pull from. But basically with the slicer, you can just make selections. And as you see, as we make different selections, it's interacting with the report. Then we have the KPI card. KPI card is a key performance indicator. We will probably have a KPI card. Not necessarily sure yet, but we probably will. We come down to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the 6th row. So this is where we are this week on the 6th row. We have a paginated report. You probably won't need to create a paginated report. We're definitely not going to create a paginated report here. We have a goals preview. This is actually a new visual that's being added to the report that, and see, it says in preview. So that tells me that it's a new visual. I haven't used it yet. Actually, it's the first time I've seen a goals visual. Then we have a narrative where you are able to bring this visual in, and you can, make comments within the report. Here we have question and answers. It's kind of like an AI piece. Not totally. I mean, it's been here for a minute, but it really is AI. It was AI before we knew what we were calling it. Then we have the decomposition tree, and we have our final visual, which is key influencers. So those are all the visuals. As a matter of fact, what I want to do, as I always do with the new visuals, just to give you an idea of what they look like or how to bring a visual in, is we are currently on the 6th row. So I'm just going to select paginated report. And of course, there's some extra things you've got to do when creating a paginated report. There's some extra things you have to do. But in this particular case, we're not going to get too deep into the paginated report. The goals visual, again, I've never used it. This first time I actually seen it. I'm going to try it out a little later and see what it really does. But it seems like you need to add some things in for the goals visual as well. Probably pretty similar to the paginated report, the Python visual, and the R visual. Then we have the narrative. Well, we get to choose the narrative type, and we can use Copilot to, create comments and things like that within a report. And then we have the question and answers, which is very similar to the narrative, but you're just asking questions that gives you the answer. That's been around for quite some time. Again, it's been AI, but we didn't know what to call it. Well, I didn't know what to call it. Then here we have the decomposition tree, as you can see how the formation of the decomposition tree would be. And the last visual on this row was the key influences. And we hear, when it comes to data analytics and data, we always hear about key influences and KPI cards. Those are the buzzwords that lets people know that we know what we're talking about. But with that said, as you can tell, for the most part, we've got to go into the back end and do some things, add some different functionality in order for the paginated report, the narrative, and the paginated report. We've got to add some things. The goal, we've got to add some functionality. The narrative. So really, this 6th row is kind of wonky, but we have to. It's a little extra, some few extra things we have to do in order to make these visualizations work. And 9 times out of 10, we may not use any of these in this report because it does take a little extra work. But I'll be honest with you, most of the time you don't even use this. So as you learn more about Power BI and as you build out your Power BI reports, you can actually use this as your extra tools in your toolbox to build out these reports, to build out your visuals, some few extra things that you would know. But as you see, these items are grayed out, and that's because they do not have any. They don't have any data in them as we speak. But as you see over here, our visuals over here all have data. All with the exception, not all have data. Yeah, they all have data, but they all have some type of color to them too. We can add color to the table visual, but the table visual comes standard grayscale, gray with white and black. But bottom line is, it's the only visual that doesn't come when you add data to it, that it doesn't automatically add color. But that's okay because you can format it to have color. We'll add some color to our table visual. But what we are going to do, what I'm going to do is I am going to reduce, I'm going to make these visuals just a little bit smaller. We are going to format the entire report a little later. Right now, the only thing I'm trying to do as we build out these initial visuals is I want to get all the visuals that we're going to use on the report, and then we'll start formatting the page. But right now, what I am doing is I am just increasing my Power BI real estate. And for those that know me, you know my Power BI real estate is just the spacing that we're allowed to have, the spacing that we have, not that we're allowed to have, but the spacing that we have on the Power BI report. So what I'm doing here is I'm just increasing room to have space to bring in additional visuals, as we are going to be bringing in one more additional visual in this particular video. And in that visual is going to be another slicer. As you remember, we brought in a slicer in a previous video, and this slicer is a bucket slicer. Well, it's not a bucket slicer, but it's a list slicer, but we used a pricing bucket, basically a range of what the different prices of the cryptocurrency is. So we had crypto from 0.001 to $70,000, from 0.0001 to over $67,000. And in this particular visual, that's what we created. We created a bucket of, it's called a bucket data terms, to show different ranges that we can select from. And in this particular video, what we're going to do is we're going to select that slicer visual. Again, I'm going to move myself around. And basically in this one, what we want to be able to select, we want to be able to select the name. of the, I mean, that's one of the first things we want to know, right? Selecting the name of the cryptocurrency. So we brought in the slicer visual. Now we're going to bring in the value, and now we can select the different names. So every time we select the name, it's showing us how that particular cryptocurrency is interacting with other visuals that have that same cryptocurrency. And then if we take it back out, we can see that they all come back in. So in this particular video, we just created the slicer visual, another slicer visual, and we will format these guys as we move along. But so that's what we have there. Again, Power of the BI Live is going to be in Dallas on May 1st and 2nd. If you're interested in coming, you should definitely go over to my website, powerofthebi.com, select courses, and then go to the middle of the page and select Power of the BI Live Dallas. There is an early bird special that's going on until the middle of March. In addition to, if you want to get your room if you're coming from out of town and you want to be at the host location, it's going to be at the Omni Hotel downtown Dallas. Again, there's a couple of different Omnis in Dallas, but there's the Omni Hotel downtown Dallas. You want to get your reservation before other events take up take up the rest of the hotel. If you go back to the beginning of this video, you'll understand what I mean when I say other events. But bottom line is, that has been video number 8 of a 16 video series. This thing is getting good, y'all. But thank you for joining in, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.